District. Call a meeting of the Community Facilities Districts of the City of Goodyear
Yes, I got it.
to order. All 10 of our CFD boards. Our chairman and chairman and board member, Chairman Kavanaugh and board member Lord, are absent this evening. One traveling on city business and the other visiting a new grandchild. So not another new grandchild, the same new grandchild, and a wedding. So I'd ask for a motion to excuse Chairman Kavanaugh.
Second.
And board member Lord. I got a first. I got a motion from
Let's get it going.
board member Cavalier and a second from board member Holland. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. We have no expenditures to approve or ratify. No communications. If there's any moving to citizen comments and appearances from the floor, if there's anyone in the public who would like to address anything that is not on our agenda, like to speak up at this time. Seeing none, moving on to the consent agenda. I'll ask the city clerk to, we've got a consent agenda. Ask the city clerk to read the consent agenda by items by title only.
Item A, council will consider for possible action approving the minutes of the district board of the joint meeting of 10 above-mentioned community facilities districts for June 25th, 2007 and July 12th, 2007.
Does anyone in the public wish to remove an item from the consent agenda? Seeing none, anyone on the board wish to remove an item from the consent agenda? Ask for a motion to approve.
Move the adoption of the minutes is read.
A motion from board member Sousa, and a second from board member Osborne. Roll call vote.
Board member Sousa,
Aye.
board member Antonio,
Aye.
board member Holland,
Aye.
board member Lloyd, absent, board member Cavalier,
Aye.
and vice chair Antonio.
I voted.
You didn't say me.
I got the wrong list here.
Are you going to say Scott? Aye.
Osborne. OSB.
Seeing that there's no further business of the joint CFD boards, ask for a motion to adjourn the joint CFD meeting and convene a meeting of the Estrella Mountain Ranch Community Facilities District.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion by board member Sousa, a second by board member Holland. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nays? Passes 5-0. Call to order the meeting of the Estrella Mountain Ranch CFD board. Moving to regular business, we've got the first two items will be presented together and voted on separately. And you've got the floor, Sheila.
Good evening, Vice Chairman Antoniak and board members. We have several representatives here. We have Scott Ruby, who is our district counsel and bond counsel, David Gu, who is from Wildan, our district engineers, and we also have a representative from Newland Communities, and two representatives from two different bond underwriters. The agenda items 7.1a and 7.a.2 are resolutions to be considered for adoption relating to the June 25th, 2007 district board meeting. A public hearing was held. It was for the feasibility report for the Gulf Village Assessment District Number 2. The projects included in this report were West Star phases 2, 3, and 4. 2 and 3 have been completed, and phase 4 is under construction. The estimated cost for these projects are $11.9 million. The feasibility report had a not to exceed amount of $7.5 million as requested as a reimbursement from the developer Newland Communities. Resolutions EMR CFD Resolution 07060 and EMR CFD Resolution 07061 were approved at the June 25th meeting. However, the developer didn't provide the required waiver and development agreement that needed to be signed, and we were under the understanding that it was signed and provided. So that's why these items are on the agenda again this evening. We do have the copies of that signed waiver and development agreement. Those two resolutions are going to be rescinded through the approval of the two resolutions that are on this evening. The requested assessments for the lots in the Gulf Village Assessment District Number 2 are estimated to be not to exceed $15,243.90. Previous special assessment bonds sold in the Stray Mountain Ranch Community Facilities District range from $4,565 to $9,565 per lot. A CFD assessment collection agreement is included with this item, so that instead of us billing them for the assessments, it would be added to the property tax bill, and it would be collected through the Maricopa County Property Tax Treasurer. We have done that with one. We just recently sold one, which was in the Montecito Assessment District, and that's how we included it. It is on their property tax bill. We're hoping to get better collections that way. Both legal counsel and representatives from both Newland communities are available if you have any questions. I will entertain any questions at this time.
Thank you, Sheila. Ask the clerk to read the title, or read the resolution by title.
Resolution 07062, approving the feasibility report relating to the acquisition, construction, and financing of certain improvements benefiting the district, declaring its intention to acquire and/or construct certain improvements described in the feasibility report, forming a special assessment district, determining that special assessment revenue bonds will be issued to finance the cost and expenses thereof, and declaring the improvements to be of more than local or ordinary public benefit, and that the cost of said improvements will be assessed upon the assessment district, providing that the proposed improvements will be performed and district assessment revenue bonds issued under the provisions of Title 48, Chapter 4, Article 6, Arizona Revised Statutes, and all amendments thereto, approving the levying of an assessment and assessment diagram for the district, and rescinding Resolution ERMRCFD, Resolution Res 07-060.
Thank you, Dee. Ask if there are any comments from the public on this item. Seeing none, I'd ask for a motion from the board.
Adopt Resolution EMR-CFD Resolution 07-062 as read by the clerk.
Second.
A motion by Board Member Holland and a second by Board Member Cavalier. Is there any questions or discussion for Sheila? Yes, sir. Thank you. Susan. Thank you.
I realize the importance of these bond issues, but I believe that I realize the importance of these bond issues, but I also realize the importance, since we've been getting a lot of information, questions from people that are affected by these bond issues and the influence that it has on their assessments. How do you propose that this information be disseminated to the people who are going to be affected by this issue?
Vice Chairman Antoniak and Board Member Sousa. Basically, they are to provide the home builders, whoever sells the homes to the initial property owner, they are supposed to provide a disclosure statement which those property owners or buyers are going to be signing. And in that disclosure, they're going to tell them about the property tax that is there already, and also tell them about the assessment amount that will be levied on that particular property. They also, when they sell property, if it's from that first homeowner to any or secondary homeowner or whoever, I think they are supposed to also disclose that information. You know, whether it's a realtor selling that property for them or not, they are supposed to be disclosing that information as well. And it will also be on their title report.
Well, you know, the word that concerns me that you just said is supposed to by the realtor or the sale of the property in general. I think it's important that we stress to the builder as well as the people that own the property later on that this be impressed upon them as necessary for them to advise the property buyers that these liens exist on the property.
Board Member Sousa, if I could answer a little bit more specifically to that.
Please do.
This has been a requirement in all of the previous assessment bonds that have been issued in Australia Mountain Ranch, and the developer and the related builders have provided this disclosure on all properties in the past when that has been sold. So in the primary sale, that has happened, that disclosure has happened. They've provided us copies anytime we've asked for them on any property that's been sold. The second half of the question is on the resale of the property, how will that second party know? The only way that we have a way of assuring that the second party gets there is that this assessment is recorded against that parcel, and therefore it will show up on their title report when they're acquiring that property.
Much more you can do.
That's correct.
Thank you both, I appreciate it.
I just have a comment that my position regarding this assessment has not changed. I will still not be voting in favor of this or the next case.
Your comments regarding that were on the record at the previous resolutions. Okay. Thank you. Board Member Holland or Cavalier, anything?
No comment.
No comment? Okay. I'll ask for a roll call vote from the clerk.
Councilmember Holland,
Aye.
Commissioner, that was Commissioner Holland, Commissioner Sousa,
Aye.
Commissioner Cavalier,
Aye.
Commissioner Osborne,
Nay?
Vice Chairman Antoniak,
Aye.
passed 4-0.
Okay. We'll now act upon the second item, which is to adopt a resolution ordering the work to be done. Item A2, I'll ask the clerk to read the resolution by title only.
EMRCFD Resolution 07063, ordering the public infrastructure project performed as described in Resolution ERMCFD Resolution 07-062, and rescinding Resolution EMRCFD Resolution 07-061.
I meant to ask this for both items earlier, but is there any comments from the public on this item? Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion on Resolution 07-063 as read by the clerk.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Sousa, second by Commissioner Holland. Council discussion? Seeing no discussion, I'll ask the clerk for a roll call vote.
Commissioner Sousa,
Aye.
Commissioner Cavalier,
Aye.
Commissioner Osborne,
Nay?
Commissioner Holland,
Aye.
Vice Chairman Antoniak,
Aye.
passed 4-1.
Next item is to adopt a resolution authorizing issuance of assessment bonds and other actions. Sheila, I think you've got this one again.
This agenda item is a resolution for the district board to consider for approval to authorize the issuance and sale of the special assessment bonds for Estrella Mountain Ranch, Special Assessment Revenue Bonds, Gulf Village Assessment District Number 2, Series 2002. The proceeds from these bonds, if approved, will be used to reimburse Newland communities for the public infrastructure projects described in the feasibility report. Again, they were West Star Drives Phase 1, 2, 3, and 4. And Phases 2 and 3 are completed, and they're in the process of constructing Phase 4. The bond amount is not to exceed $7.5 million, even though the estimated cost for the entire project is $11.9 million to construct. Various legal documents were given to you for review, including the preliminary limited offering memorandum, indenture of trust and security agreement, purchase contract, continuing disclosure, undertaking, dissemination agency agreement, and other documents and actions necessary for the issuance and sale of the special assessment bonds. We will have assessments added, like I said, to the property tax bill, and that they also will be collected by the Maricopa County Treasurer. At this time, I'll entertain any questions.
I'll ask if there's any comments on from the public on this item at this time. Seeing none, I'll ask the clerk to read the resolution by title only.
EMRCFD Res 07-064, authorizing the issuance of its Estrella Mountain Ranch Community Facilities District, City of Goodyear, Arizona, Special Assessment Revenue Bonds for Gulf Village Assessment District Number 2, Series 2007, in the aggregate principal amount of not to exceed $7,500,000, approving the form and authorizing the execution and delivery of an indenture of trust and security agreement, a purchase contract relating to the bonds, a continuing disclosure undertaking, a dissemination agency agreement, and certain other documents securing the payment of or relating to the bonds, awarding the bonds to the purchaser thereof, ratifying and approving a preliminary limited offering memorandum relating to the bonds, approving the preparation and use of a final limited offering memorandum relating to the bonds, and taking other actions securing the payment of and relating to the bonds.
I'll ask for a motion to approve Resolution EMR CFD Resolution 07-064 not to exceed $7.5 million as read by the clerk.
So moved.
Second.
A motion by Commissioner Holland and a second by Commissioner Osborne. Is there any discussion?
Question, sir.
Yes, sir.
Should have asked this question earlier.
Sousa.
In case of default, who is responsible for payment of the payment of the bond?
Vice Chairman Antoniak and Board Member Sousa. If they default on the payment, and we try every option that we can to get in contact with those property owners, they are forwarded a list as delinquent, and we send that to the attorney, who also sends out certified mail and regular mail to the property owners that they also research to make sure that we've sent them the correct property owners. Then if they don't do that payment, then what happens is there's actual sale for the delinquency on the special assessment. Whoever purchased that, and we've had 2 sales previously, and we've had a total of 8 sold. 1 has been redeemed, so some property owner came forward after the sale, and they may fully redeem the sale price plus the interest that was due to the purchaser. So that would happen again. We would actually go through the same process, and it would be sold to whoever come to purchase it.
Okay. So the city is held harmless, right?
That is correct.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I'll ask for a roll call vote.
Commissioner Cavalier,
Aye.
Commissioner Osborne,
Aye.
Commissioner Sousa,
Aye.
Commissioner Holland,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Antoniak.
Aye.
Passed 5-0.
Okay, moving to items 7C, 1, 2, and 3. We'll announce the next 3 items will be presented together but acted upon separately. Item C1, Sheila.
Yes, all these items relate to the feasibility report, possible approval of the resolution of the feasibility report after the public hearing, and another resolution to possibly approve the sale and issuance of a general obligation bond pertaining to this feasibility report. The public hearing is required by law for the Estrella Mountain Ranch feasibility report for the proposed general obligation bond and the issuance of not to exceed $12,760,000 in principal amount in the general obligation bonds. The Estrella Mountain Ranch consists of approximately 9,771 acres of land. Projects included in this feasibility report are the portions of the extension of Estrella Parkway Phase 3A, which was not reimbursed in the General Obligation Bond Series 2005, the Estrella Parkway Phase 3B extension, portions of the Estrella Parkway Phase 3C, and Rainbow Valley Water, reclaimed water, sewer and sewage force mains, the H7 well site water main extension, and the H10 well site water main extension. All projects have been completed. Newlands Communities has requested and agrees to entering into a standby contribution agreement since the amount is to exceed in the principal amount of the bonds for the $1 per each $100 of secondary assessed valuation, also taking into account a 95% collection. Also, Newland meets all the other requirements that are needed in the standby contribution agreement, and if there's any questions about that, Mr. Ruby is here to explain or answer any of those questions to the agreement. Immediately following the public hearing, you will be asked to consider approval for the resolution for the feasibility report, and then also for the issuance of the and sale of bonds. I will entertain any questions.
Open the public hearing. believe I was supposed to do that probably before you talked. But if there's not any objection, I won't ask Ms. Mills to repeat her presentation this evening. Is there any objection to that in the public? Okay. Seeing that the staff presentation was already done, is there any comments from the public during this public hearing? Seeing no public comment, I'll close the public hearing. Move on to, we'll now act upon adopting a resolution rescinding certain resolutions. Item C2, adopt a resolution, EMR CFD Resolution 07-065, rescinding Resolution 06-046 and Resolution 06-053. I'll ask the clerk to read the resolutions by title only.
Resolution 07065, rescinding resolutions EMR CFD Resolution 06046 and EMR CFD Resolution 06053, approving the feasibility report relating to the acquisition, construction, and financing of certain improvements benefiting the district, declaring its intention to acquire and/or construct certain improvements as described in the feasibility report relating to such improvements, determining that not to exceed $12,760,000 general obligation bonds will be issued to finance the cost and expenses thereof, under the provisions of Title 48, Chapter 4, Article 6, Arizona Revised Statutes, and all amendments thereto.
I'll ask for a motion regarding the resolution as read by the clerk not to exceed $12.76 million.
So moved.
Second.
Waiting. Got a motion by Mr. Sousa, second by Mrs. Osborne. Any council discussion? Seeing no discussion, I'll ask for...
Quick question.
Oh,
I'm
yes,
sorry.
ma'am.
Just for
George.
the record, we are rescinding this because of housekeeping, more or less, or what's the reason?
Vice Chairman Antoniak and Board Member Osborne. Basically, we had brought a feasibility report in 2006 and also did a resolution to approve that. We had a public hearing, did the resolution and approved the 2006 feasibility report. Then we also did a resolution to approve the issuance and sale of the bonds for that particular feasibility report. We are rescinding that to get rid of that, and this is the new report that we're using.
Seeing no further discussion, I'll ask for a roll call vote.
Commissioner Osborne?
Aye.
Commissioner Holland?
Aye.
Commissioner Sousa?
Aye.
Commissioner Cavalier?
Aye.
Vice Chair Antoniak?
Aye.
Passed 5-0.
Moving to item C3, we'll now act upon adopting the resolution authorizing the issuance of bonds and other actions. I'll ask the clerk to read the resolution by title only.
Resolution 07066, authorizing the issuance of its district general obligation bonds, Series 2007, in the principal amount not to exceed $12,760,000, approving the form and authorizing the execution and delivery of an indenture of trust and security agreement, a standby contribution agreement, a purchase contract relating to the bonds, a continuing disclosure undertaking, a dissemination agency agreement, and certain other documents securing the payment of the bonds, awarding the bonds to the purchaser thereof, ratifying and approving a preliminary limited offering memorandum relating to the bonds, approving a final limited offering memorandum relating to the bonds, and levying an ad valorem tax on taxable property in the district.
Ask for a motion for the resolution. Resolution read by the clerk.
Second.
Did I hear a motion from?
I move we adopt resolution 07-066.
I second it.
Got a motion from Board Member Cavalier, second by Board Member Holland. Is there any discussion on the resolution? Seeing none, I'll ask the clerk for a roll call vote.
Commissioner Holland?
Aye.
Commissioner Osborne?
Aye.
Commissioner Sousa?
Aye.
Commissioner Cavalier?
Aye.
Vice Chair Antoniak?
Aye.
Passed 5-1.
Done with this evening's business on CFD. Moving to item number 8. Is there any? I don't think there's any follow-up items from staff on this one. Does board members have any inquiries to staff regarding the CFDs? Seeing none of that, if there's no further business. We'll be having a work session immediately following. Does staff need time to prepare, to get ready, or are we good to go? We'll move right into it.
We're good to go.
We're good to go. Okay, CFD's adjourned.